Hi everyone. On November 12th, the Holy Orthodox Church celebrates the memory of St. Helen of Anjou. Now, Helen's origins are a bit mysterious. Scholars can't quite decipher exactly where she came from, but it's generally recognized that she did originate somewhere from one of the royal houses in France. Anjou seems to be the one that is most decided on by scholars today, though it's still somewhat of a mystery. Anjou, of course, was founded by Charles I, who in turn was a son of King Louis VIII of France. How also that she ended up in the Kingdom of Serbia is also a bit of a mystery. However, we do know that she married the king Stefan Euros, and by all accounts, their marriage was a successful and happy one, spawning two different children, both named Stefan. But down the road, some things seemed to get in the way, because the older son, Stefan, had a falling out with his father, so much so that ultimately King Stefan Euros decided to abdicate in favor of his son. At that point, Helen became a dowager empress. Well, as such, she was also given administrative control over a number of regions in the Serbian kingdom. And in fact, many of these regions were also populated, besides Orthodox Christians, Roman Catholics as well. St. Helen became known for her religious tolerance, feeling that she should be as Christian and compassionate towards any number of people that fell under her administration, and she maintained this to the end of her life. After a while, however, and again we're not sure exactly how long her role as Dowager Empress lasted, she decided that she was going to give up everything. And in doing so, because of her religious upbringing and her great faith, she decided to become a tonsured nun. She did this at the monastery of St. Nicholas, which now resides in Albania, but then was one of the Serbian provinces. After she became a nun, she also became well known for many of the charitable things that she did. During her lifetime, she had established the first girls' school ever in Serbia. She also endowed many great libraries and was a patron of learning and the real cultural explosion that happened in Serbia at that time. She was known for all of these things, and especially for the founding of a monastery at the very end of her life, which was dedicated to the entry of the Mother of God into the temple. That monastery still stands today, although unfortunately at different times, particularly in the 17th century when it was overrun by the Turks, the monks at that point left and fled, and we're not sure where they went. One thing that we do know, however, is that they took the relics of Holy Saint Helen with them. That's right, even though we know where she was buried in the monastery that she had founded, and we know where she was tonsured a nun, we do not know today what happened to her relics. That did not stop this monastery, called Gradac, Gradac, from becoming a huge tourist attraction, because in the 1900s it was completely restored. The roof had caved in, and around 1919 it looked basically like a bombed-out monastery, which indeed it might have been. But Helen's name is remembered today, and that church is testimony to her great devotion to her faith. In fact, inside there are some remaining portraits and icons all over the walls that you can still see, and the iconostasis, which is a very narrow one, was basically intact, and is a very beautiful thing to see. If you, in fact, Google the name of Gradac Monastery, you can go out there and take a virtual tour of it. I would encourage everyone to do that, because in doing so you will remember the great St. Helen of Anjou. There are, of course, many wonderful royal families in the Orthodox Church, many that were not so wonderful, but we are most encouraged when we see these people with so much power and so much wealth giving up everything for the sake of their faith. Helen was known in her time as someone who did just this. She was someone that cared for her people dearly and loved God above all. In fact, we might say that she was, as we would think all of us should be, a very Christian person. And in this lifetime, that is surely enough. She died in 1314 at the age of 78. Bye-bye.